What is up, guys? Welcome on back to another 2025 NFL mock draft. And if you've never been here before, welcome. And how I do my mock drafts are just how I would draft if I was in the general manager's seat. I've been watching football, and I play football. I've been watching football for my entire life. So I'm 49 years old. Football's been my favorite thing in the entire world since I came out the womb. So I'm pretty experienced at watching the game and watching film and watching college players and stuff like that. So, but anyways, not to say that I'm a big, I'm a master or anything like that, but I know what I'm talking about when I look at a player. I'm pretty good at knowing if they're going to work out the next level or not. It's hard as you go later on, especially if you can't interview the players. Some interviews are big because you want to see where their mentality is. A lot of guys, if they're just in it for money or whatever, it's a little harder for them to succeed. But if a person loves the game and they're real passionate about it and everything, it's a little bit makes the transition easier, because the NFL is just so much work, and you can get burned out pretty quick if you don't like live for the game. But with that being said, Tennessee Titans. If I'm the Titans, if this is your first time watching, I'm not a big fan of any of the quarterbacks in this draft, except for Will Howard. I like Will Howard a lot. I liked his progression. I like how he grew as a player, but I don't know. It's weird. I actually, watching him this year, I thought he'd be like the first pick of the draft, but no one has him there, and no one's talking about him there. So with that information, I'm going to assume I'm missing something they're not. And I'm not going to put him overly high or anything like that, but like, if I was just blind watching these guys film and I'm watching them play, I would think Will Howard would be the top quarterback in the draft. But yeah, but that's just basically going off of this season. He struggled the years before that, but he put it all together his last year and did really, really well. And I've seen him on interviews and things like that. He looks like the real deal to me, but I'm going to hold off just because it's funny, because I think my original mock drafts I was having him going like number 3 and stuff. But anyway, I'm going to put out there that I love Will Howard, and I think he's going to be the best quarterback out of this draft. Even though this draft, I don't even think this draft is average at that position. I just think this draft is pretty fucking blah at the quarterback position. It's funny because when you read like Cameron Ward, one of my biggest concerns about him is can you read defenses? Can you go through progressions? I'm a Hurricanes fan. I'm from South Florida. I was watching him. Most of his plays were just off broken shit, and him just having a decent arm. It wasn't like, oh wow, Jesus Christ, he's mentally above everybody else. It wasn't even close to that. He's not very mobile. People think he's mobile for some reason. I think it's just because his skin is black. I honestly think that he's not very mobile. When you watch him run, he looks like he's fucking slow. So he's not very mobile. Not everybody's fast who's black, by the way. And when I watch Shedeur Sanders, he throws ducks half the time. He's more of a kind of dink and dunk West Coast style kind of quarterback. But none of these quarterbacks, besides Will Howard, have the traits to be the number one guy. Will Howard has a great arm. Now they're saying his arm isn't great, but every time I watch him, he throws the football out of the goddamn camera. I don't know why they say his arm isn't very good. Now do I think he's got a once in a lifetime gun? Do I think he's Mahomes or Caleb Williams? Absolutely not. There's not a Caleb Williams or a Jaden Daniels in this draft. There's just not. Sorry. There's just nobody like that in this draft. So this guy here I don't think he's worth it. So if I'm Tennessee, I'm dangling this pick. I'm dangling it out there. I know they don't have a quarterback, but if I'm Tennessee, if I have to keep this pick, I'm just going to drop the quarterback in the second round. I'm not kidding. I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to fucking wait, because I can't pass up on Jalen Walker. Sorry, he's the best player in the draft. There's 3 linebackers in this. There's 3 of these kind of like hybrid, maybe even 4 hybrid linebackers who like can rush the passer, who can play middle linebacker, who can do everything. Jalen Walker's a guy that's going to get you 160 tackles, 8 sacks, and a couple picks his first year in the league. He's just going to be productive. He's NFL ready. He's got an NFL body already. And he's going to be your best defensive player right off the bat. He can be your middle linebacker. He can be your leading sack guy. He can be everything. You can blitz him through gaps. Like he is the, to me, he is the ultimate chess piece at linebacker for today's game. He's the ultimate chess piece. Abdul Carter can do that. I think Jalen Walker can do it. But I think Jalen Walker's more versatile. I think Abdul Carter may not even be the best pass rusher. I've seen him get just completely sucked up in blocks multiple times. He's not that big. Now, he kind of reminds me of Will Anderson, so if he turns out to be one, but he doesn't seem to be as strong. It's weird. Will Anderson was small, but he was strong for his size. I've seen Will Anderson bowl through people. I haven't seen Abdul Carter really do that. When Abdul Carter tries to do like a power move, he gets sucked up in a block. So that's kind of not my knock on him. If you take Abdul Carter number one, that's fine. It's fine. I just think Jalen Walker is significantly better than Abdul Carter, in my opinion. I think he's better. Whenever I watch Jalen Walker play, he's a man among boys. Whenever I watch him play, I'm like, Jesus Christ, they got to get like 3 guys on him. He's fucking awesome. All right, the Browns. If I'm the Browns, now they currently have Deshaun Watson and Kenny Pickett. The Browns are not going to be able to move on from Deshaun Watson. They have to play him this year. They're paying him, what, $50 million or whatever the hell they're paying him this year. They're stuck in a bad contract. I don't think they're going to bench someone making that much money. I just don't see that happening. They might draft someone later. I don't think they would draft Cameron Ward here. And I wouldn't draft Cameron Ward here either. So if I'm the Browns, I'm going to go with what I did last time. Everybody's picking Abdul Carter, but in my opinion, the best way to get pressure off of your defensive end, is to shore up your inside of your defensive line. You grab Mason Graham, you put him on the same side as Myles Garrett, and Myles Garrett has his double, being blocked by 2 guys or whatever, fucking taken and cut in half. Mason Graham is a guy that you have to put a guy on. You have to put someone on. You can't just chip him and shit. Mason Graham, you have to block him. He doesn't stop. He's a fucking Wolverine. He doesn't stop. Like literally a Wolverine. So, and he's a defensive leader. The Browns desperately need, these 2 teams need leaders. And this is the draft to build your defense, period. You can argue with me all you want. You can argue Cam Ward all you want with me. But I'm telling you right now, he is not a first pick worthy guy. Is he bad? No. Not a. When I was watching him at the Hurricanes, I'm like, oh, he'd be a good guy to take a chance on in like the second round. That's literally what I thought about him every game I watched him play. I'm like, yeah, he's not very mobile. His arm's above average. It's funny, I was watching a guy, and he was like, you draft Cameron Ward at number 2 because he's going to be like the 12th best quarterback in the league. And I'm sitting there thinking, yeah, he's going to be above average. That's what above average is. Number 12 to what, 16? That's above average. 12 to 15, that's above average. So I'm going to take my number 1 pick, who I don't get too much, and pass up on an opportunity to get a fucking generational player for the, at highest point, the 12th best quarterback in the league when he's at his best. No, I'm good. You can take it if you want. All right, the Giants, they're not drafting a quarterback, in my opinion, at early either. They've got Russell Wilson and who's the other guy they got? Oh God, what am I doing? Russell Wilson. Oh, and Jameis Winston. I actually think Jameis Winston's going to be the starter out of all of them. So, if I'm the Giants, I'm not taking him either. I'm not taking Jameis Winston either. This is where I do consider taking Abdul Carter, but I think the Giants would be really... They're put in a spot where they kind of have to take this guy, which is fine. You can take I'm going to take Travis Hunter here. Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter, one of the 2. I would grab Hunter just because he can play corner. I think he's going to be a corner at first, and he's going to wide receiver second. I think he needs to fill out a little bit more, but in my opinion, I would put Travis Hunter at corner. My opinion. I think he'll transition better at corner first. I think you put him at corner, then you put him at receiver when you need him. If he wants to play both sides. I don't think he should start at both sides. I don't think his frame will hold up. He's too small. All right, the Patriots, and I mean, Travis Hunter's going to be fucking awesome. My only concern with drafting Travis Hunter, and I'm not kidding here, is okay, in 4 years when we have to re-sign him, is he going to be like, is he going to make quarterback type money? Is he going to be that good? Like, he's got the potential to demand almost quarterback type money and just destroy your cap. That would be the one reason why I'd be like, maybe not Travis Hunter, but you got a good guy for 4 or 5 years there. He's either going to be a star or he's going to be a bust. There's really no middle with Travis Hunter. He's either going to take the league by storm or he's just going to be like, oh, we wasted that pick. And that's just kind of what he is to me. But I think he's going to be very good. All right, the Patriots. I'm going to be completely blunt. Everybody's picking Will Campbell here. I don't think Will Campbell is going to be better than M'Boue. I think M'Boue is going to be the better player out of the two. If I'm the Patriots, I'm taking Carter here. They need an edge. I think Carter's a perfect fit for them. Abdul Carter is going to be a perfect 34 outside linebacker. That's kind of what he is. He's a 34 outside linebacker. His biggest problem is he's too small. 34 linebacker, like an outside edge rushing 34 backer, probably should be a little bit bigger. But he's got all the athleticism in the world, and I think he can grow into his body. And I think that the Patriots have time, and they're going to be patient with the rebuild. All right, so I think this is kind of going how I did last time. So the Jaguars, so defensive tackle, tight end, corner, tackle, wide receiver. Now in the last draft, I believe I picked Tyler Ward. I would seriously consider him here. I don't know what they're good. I don't know what their plan in the war room or whatever is. If I'm the general manager, I'm assuming that the franchise is just committed to Trevor Lawrence. I don't know if I would be. I don't think Cameron Ward's good enough to pick, and I don't think he'll be able to beat Trevor Lawrence. Anyway. I'm grabbing M'Boue if I'm them. It's M'Boue or Tyler Ward. I think I picked Tyler Ward last time. Or Loveland. Seriously, Loveland or Warren or M'Boue. Those would be the 3 picks for me. I would grab one of those elite tight ends or tackles. If they need offensive tackle like it says they need, that's what I would grab. Now, I haven't looked at the roster and confirmed that, but M'Boue is... He's a top 5 product. These are the 5 best players in this draft right here. I would take Abdul Carter out, and I would put in, I know you guys are going to think I'm crazy, Jihad Campbell. I think Jihad Campbell's actually a step above Abdul Carter. But they're almost identical. Abdul Carter, it's Jalen Walker 1, Abdul Carter, and Jihad Campbell 2A and 2B. Those are the 2 best. Those are the 3 best players in the draft. And you got Mason Hunter, Mason Graham. Travis Hunter is he is a very, very feast or famine pick in my opinion. But anyway, so the Raiders need corner, running back, receiver, wide receiver, safety, defensive tackle. The running backs in this draft. I just think you can get running back later on. I would grab Will Johnson here if I'm the Raiders, or Ashton Jeanty. Ashton Jeanty is the pick that I've been putting there, but I just think that, in my opinion, you go grab a Will Johnson. Don't be surprised if McMillan goes there. Don't be surprised. They have Geno Smith, which tells me they want to win now. And McMillan would be a nice big target for Smith. Do not be surprised if they grab McMillan here. I think there's gonna be a lot of surprises in this draft as far as where people go. The Jets, they have Justin Fields. Their quarterback room's a mess. The quarterback room is a mess. I think Cam Ward. I'm just not a Cam Ward fan high, but like I said, this is the draft to build your defense or your offensive line. I do know that they have Justin Fields, which I think is going to be their backup. I don't know if Justin Fields is going to be the guy or not. I think Cam Ward needs to be in a quarterback room where he's learning, not competing for the job. Well, competing and learning. I think he needs to learn. I think he needs to sit a year. I think he needs to learn. I don't think the Jets have that option. If I'm the GM and I'm meeting with the owner and they're okay with a rebuild and kind of taking our time rebuilding this thing right, if I'm the Jets, I'm just going to grab Warren here. I'm not going to grab Ward. I just think Cameron Ward in that locker room with Justin Fields, you know, I just don't think it'll work out. So I'm going to pass on Cam Ward here. The Panthers, now this is not how it's going to go. We all know that. Cam Ward's going to be gone already. I wouldn't grab him here. Panthers, corner, center, safety, edge. Another team that needs an edge. Wide receiver. The Panthers is a tough one. Because I think here's another spot McMillan could go. Or my favorite receiver in the draft, Golden. I just don't know if Golden's got the size to be picked that high, but Waddle was picked that high and it worked out pretty good. Needing cornerback and edge is really, really tough to draft a receiver over all of that. Here's another place that could be a team that could be trading, to be honest. I'm not grabbing Shamir Stewart here. I'm not grabbing Shamir Stewart here. Why is Michael Williams dropping? Is there a reason he's dropping? Mike Green I like a lot. My problem with Mike Green is he's the same kind of issue I have with Carter, but Carter just seems to be like just the more physically dominant player. Is Mike Green small? Yeah, he's kind of a feast or famine guy. He's kind of like he's either going to be in the backfield in the second or he's going to get sucked up. I would grab Williams here if I'm them. I just think that he's the more polished end. What I really like about Michael Williams is he's really, really good getting off of blocks. He's one of the best, if not the best. Him and Jalen Walker are the two best getting off blocks in this draft. Michael Williams shines when he's being blocked. He's very good at that. If you go watch him, he's excellent at shedding blocks. So that tells me he's going to come in right off the bat and be able to contribute as a starter in the NFL. I don't know if he'll be a fucking star, but he'll come in right away and play well. The problem with Michael Williams, when you watch his highlights, every time he's going to get a sack, this guy's in a second faster getting it. It's number 11 sacking the guy and 13 standing above him clapping for him. I mean, just Walker's the beast. All right, the Saints is where Cameron Ward should be going. Exactly where he should be going. He's going to be in the quarterback room with Derek Carr, who's probably going to be willing to teach him, and he'll probably be starting by the middle of the year. And I think he'd be great in that city. He would, if he's going to flourish anywhere, it's going to be somewhere like the Saints. So if I'm the GM, I'm grabbing Ward here. I just think it's a good fit. I think fit's very important for quarterback. All right, see the Browns. First need is tackle. Got Campbell up there. A lot of people think he's the best tackle in the draft. I think this guy here is, but you grab the best tackle available and just move on with your life. 49ers. Defensive tackle, corner, linebacker, edge. They need a linebacker and an edge. I'm grabbing Jihad Campbell here. I don't think Campbell's an edge, but he's a pass rusher. And if they need a linebacker, he kind of fits what they do. He's kind of in the mold of a 49er linebacker. So if I'm the 49ers, I go grab the best available of those three hybrid linebackers. And you're honestly getting a steal here. You're getting a steal here. I'm not kidding. You're getting a steal right here. Like, he should be up here. I think he's that good. All right, the Cowboys get their guy dropping right to him. Ashton Jeanty, and this is not deliberate, it's just how this has worked out. I've been putting Jeanty up here with the Raiders for a long time. The more I look into Will Johnson, the more I just think he's just going to be a good, consistent player. He may not be the league's leading intercept guy or anything, but he's a plug-and-play starter. I don't know what side you'd put him on or if he'd be number one corner or whatever, but your defense is better with Will Johnson, and your offense is better with Ashton Jeanty. I just think this works out very well. All right, Miami Dolphins, guard, defensive tackle, offensive tackle, safety, linebacker. The more I look at Kelvin Banks, the more I don't like him. Sorry, I'm not a big fan of him. He's big. When I watch a lot of highlights of other players, they're beating Banks. I think I was watching Jalen Walker, and he was absolutely fucking murdering him. Like, Banks was just like lost playing against Walker. Like, it wasn't even close. I think Banks is too highly rated in this. The Dolphins don't need a guard. They just signed 2 of them. I don't know if a tackle's worth picking up here. Josh Simmons is my favorite one here. I'm just going to grab Josh Simmons here from... shit, I don't know. They need a safety. They need a corner. They desperately need a corner, actually. The Dolphins desperately need a corner. I would grab Barron, but I'd have a tough time passing up on a tackle. The problem is, I love Josh Simmons. I just don't know what his injury situation is. But I think the Dolphins need a corner more than they need a tackle. Like, it's really bad how badly they need a corner. It's bad. It's bad. So now they could wait and draft a corner later. Or they could just draft a good one here. I think I would draft a corner here, or I would draft Barron, Starks, Simmons, or Tyler Booker. I wouldn't grab Booker because the Dolphins did sign some guards. I would grab Simmons, which, gun to my head, might be the pick, actually. Simmons, Barron, or Starks. Those would be the 3 picks for the Dolphins for me. If they didn't need so much of those, I would grab Golden. I do think Miami's desperate for another receiver, and I think that Tyreek Hill probably will be moved on from, but we'll see what happens there. All right, the Colts. My opinion, they need a quarterback, and Shedeur Sanders would fit the mold there for them. I think he's a guy that could go to a team that doesn't need him to be the main guy, and just kind of play and grow into the franchise. I just think the Colts are one of those franchises that kind of have their shit together, and I think Sanders would really, really do well with the Colts. I see the Colts moving up, trying to grab a quarterback, or at least, they may not do it, but I think they're going to try to. All right, Atlanta. Corner, DT, edge, safety. At this point, just grab the plug-and-play safety. Where the hell is he? Starks. Stay in the state. Plug and play safety. Atlanta's building correctly. They're putting their pieces together. They've got 2 good quarterbacks. They've got a pretty good offense. You can grab. I would grab a receiver later if I'm them. Hell, maybe even another, a running back or something. I don't know what the running back situation is with their backup, but I know Robinson's there. But you need 2 backs. But anyway, Cardinals. Edge, defensive tackle, wide receiver, guard, linebacker. If you're building, the Cardinals will not build. They're not building right, or the new guy might. But if I'm the Cardinals, they need a guard. I grab Booker. I don't know. What kind of defense do they run? I don't know what kind of defense they run. I would not grab... I don't know if I'd grab Stewart if I'm them. problem with Stewart. He's a project. That's the problem with Stewart. He's a project. Are the Cardinals in the position to draft a project? I don't think so. I think the Cardinals are in the position to be taken. You have to hit on your picks. You got to hit on your picks. I would grab Banks here. I don't love Banks, but I do think he can play guard if they need him to play guard, and I think he can play tackle if they need him to play tackle. So if I'm them, I'm grabbing Banks, or I'm grabbing Simmons, or I'm grabbing Booker. One of those three guys. I'm grabbing offensive lineman. I know McMillan's dropping here, but it's not because, you know, I don't love him, but I don't hate him either. But McMillan, I just don't think wide receivers, if you're building correctly, wide receiver is not the number one priority. It's just fucking not. Bengals, edge, defensive tackle, guard, corner. Plus, all these teams need the same shit. So you may as well just grab the best player available at those positions so someone else doesn't grab them. Because your edge is not going to be there next round. It's just not going to be there. All right, the Bengals. They're one of those teams that could be in a position to grab like a Shamir Stewart. I don't know what their situation is with their pass rushers. But they, you know, Shamir Stewart needs to go to a team that's already pretty good. And he can come in and contribute and learn and grow with the team. I think the Bengals might be a team that would fit that mold. But if I'm the Bengals, I'm going to grab Mike Green here. I think Mike Green, he's going about where he should be. Like I said, at the Senior Bowl, he was man among boys as far as technique goes. His technique is really polished. He just needs to get bigger and stronger. I think he can come in and play almost situationally with them, you know, and grow with the team and take over. If they need to sign a guy or a big contract, they can let that guy go and put Mike. I think Mike Green in a few years will be almost an elite pass rusher. He just needs to go to a team that's patient, that can wait for him. All right. Seattle Seahawks. So they got Sam Darnold, which I love the move. They moved on from DK Metcalf, which I love that even more. Guard, tackle, receiver. There's not a lot of great linemen left. I'm going to grab Josh Simmons, just the best player, in my opinion, on the board here. And move on with my life. All right, so I'm putting Stewart here. I think I did last time. Stewart's a perfect team for him. This is the Buccaneers. He can come in and, like I said, learn. He's got a great defensive head coach and just a good, solid foundation as a franchise to go to. I think Stewart would flourish there and be, you know, later on when we're redrafting this draft, if he goes here, he'll ascend up where he should have been up here. But I just think Stewart's a little bit of a project right now. He's just not polished. When you watch him play, it's like a caged animal. He can't get off a block, but he'll just run right through you. He's crazy. He's a tough one to put my thumb on. He really is. He's either going to come in and like get 15 sacks right off the bat, or you're hardly ever going to see him. That's it. That's what he is to me. All right, I'm putting McMillan where I put him last time. It's a perfect fit. He drops right to where he needs to drop, in my opinion, and he'll flourish with the Broncos. It's the perfect spot for him. All right, the Steelers need a quarterback, defensive tackle, corner, running back, wide receiver. This is a tough one. Let me look at the roster. Steelers roster real quick. That's what I forgot to look up. Just Steelers current roster. Just 'cause I don't know what they need. It says up there on the thing, but you never really know what they need. Later. Bishop, Beckles, Pierre, Porter, Darius Slay. I think they need a corner. Yeah, I think they're weak at defensive back. Defensive ends are 34 ends. Cam Hayward. They have a bunch of guys, but nothing special. A defensive line. They got a lot of defensive linemen. Holy shit. Okay. A lot of linebackers, too. Jesus Christ. How many fucking linebackers they got? God damn. Yeah, they have nothing. One quarterback. Oh my god, what are they doing? Yeah, they're in trouble. Holy fuck. Yeah, no, they're not grabbing a receiver here. Okay, what are they doing? What the fuck are the Steelers doing? Alright, oh my god, I can't believe what I just saw. Jesus Christ. If I'm them, I'm grabbing Rebel. Sorry. They don't have any corners, and their defensive backs are terrible. I'm grabbing Rebel. He's got the most potential, probably, of anybody in the draft. I think he can come in and play pretty quickly. And, I don't know what they're doing there. Talk about a team that needs a core. Don't be surprised if they move up. Don't be surprised if Steelers are giving up 3 first-round picks to go to Cameron Ward. They have nothing at quarterback. Nothing. Literally nothing at quarterback. I don't know what they're doing. And they'll be waiting for Aaron Rodgers. That guy ain't turning that fucking place around. He ain't doing it. I don't know. DK Metcalf, I'd be like, what the fuck are you guys doing? If I'm the Steelers, I'm grabbing Will Howard second round. It's just, I'm going to move up and just make sure I grab that guy. Sorry. But I think Rebel's the pick here as far as what they need. The Steelers are going to suck. And if you're a Steeler fan, hold on. You're going to have some rough days ahead of you. All right, unless they know something we don't, and they grab a guy like a Will Howard or something that turns them around. I don't know. All right, the Chargers. Defensive tackle, tight end, wide receiver. They're going to grab, or I would grab if I'm them. Colston Loveland, I think he's a perfect fit. He's from Michigan. It just makes sense. Green Bay, edge, corner, wide receiver. Defensive tackle, linebacker. I still can't believe fucking Steelers. Like, what are you doing? I think this could be a surprise pick here. As far as, like, them grabbing Benjamin Morrison or something like that. I don't know why Benjamin Morrison's dropping so much. Why is he dropping so much? Yeah, I don't think he should be this low. I would grab Morrison here. I think Morrison's really good. Every time I've seen him, I thought he was great. All right, if I'm the Vikings, what's my computer doing here? All right, Vikings need safety, corner, guard, edge. They need what everyone else needs. I'm grabbing Zabel. I think he'll play guard in the NFL. He was a tackle. I think he'll play guard. He can also play center. But I'd grab Zabel. I think he's really moving. I think he's going to get drafted pretty high, too. He could be drafted higher than this, but I think it's about where he'll get drafted. Texans. Tackle, guard, center, wide receiver, defensive tackle. Can't keep passing up on linemen. Just grab Tyler. I would grab Tyler Booker here. Or Matthew Golden. One of those two guys. That would be the pick for me. In my opinion, you just bolster that offensive line and everything else will literally fall into place. I'm not kidding. If your offensive line's good, it can cover up for. You can start drafting skill positions, in my opinion, when your offensive line's set up. Sorry, your quarterback can't get the receiver the ball or read progressions when he's getting hit. Just makes sense. All right, the Rams, linebacker, corner, edge, tight end. I hate the running back. Not a big fan of. I don't hate Kyron Williams, but I don't think he's a starter. I know he's been fairly productive, but this guy worth. Yeah, if they're going all in on what's his face, they don't need offensive line. I would just grab a top running back to pair with what's his face. I love running backs. I think running backs are like kind of the engine that run an offense. Or at least like the spark plugs or whatever. But yeah, I think Hampton can either come in as a starter or like a significantly upgraded backup and come in and just, you know, when your team's struggling and you have a good offensive line, you can just turn around and hand the ball off until the passing game starts rolling. There's nothing wrong with grabbing a running back here. All right, guard, center, or corner, edge, linebacker, safety. Well, I actually want receiver for them, to be honest. I don't think Golden's dropping this far. I just don't, in reality. I just think some of these teams need so much in different spot in like offensive line and stuff that they're gonna have their line and shit first. There's only so many good linemen in the draft. So I think someone like a Golden could drop. It could very well drop, not because he's bad, it's just because of how the draft would work out and the needs of other teams. He's only 20 years old. Yeah, I would grab this guy here. A little bit of a project. I didn't realize he was that young. If he's that physically dominant, just go to a team that just kind of doesn't need him to come in and do everything right away and just have him grow with the team. He's only 20 years old. It's a massive, massive upside check mark for me. Because I'm not having to sign him till I'm signing him at 25. Then give him another 5-year deal and just have him until he's 30, and then we can move on. But yeah. Gordon's, I think, would be a good pick here, actually. Now I'm looking at it. The Lions. Not a big fan of Pierce here for the Lions. I don't think he fits kind of their culture, their style. I would grab him if I'm them. This guy here. The more I look at him, the more I really like him, and I think he would fit what they need. Yeah, he's kind of a hybrid though, which I'm not a big fan of hybrid linebacker or safety guys, but I think he's a chess piece that you could use. You can blitz him and all kind of stuff. I think Amenwari would fit well there. But they could grab Golden. Golden would be good there. I don't think Golden's dropping much more. Edge, corner, safety. There's none of those there. I'm grabbing Matthew Golden. There's none of everything else they need that they need that's very good is gone. And I think Golden is too good to pass up to take a chance on someone else in that spot. So Golden's the guy there. For me, Golden would be the guy there and just make that offense even better. I think the Bills are going straight defense. Harmon, 6'4", 313, 6'3", 296. They run a 43 defense. I think Nolan's the better fit. I would grab Nolan if I'm them, but Harmon, you could grab Harmon as well. I don't think they need to draft anything else but defense. That's just my opinion. The Chiefs, defensive tackle, guard, edge, offensive tackle. I just grab Harmon here. He's a kind of a pedigree that dropped down to them, so they get lucky grabbing him. The Eagles, gonna do Eagle things and grab Pierce. You know, he's going to a team that, like I said, they can afford to grow someone. He's a very, very athletic guy. He's kind of in the mold of like a Jalen Walker and those guys where he's very athletic. He can kind of stand up and he's fast. He's kind of like a Job Robinson type player, but he's not polished yet and he still needs to grow into his body. But he can go here and then grow. I think it's a good fit for them. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the mock draft. And I'll probably do another one before the draft comes up. And I know this one's kind of quick, but yeah, Jalen Walker, and I mean the top five, it hasn't really moved for me too much. Well, Johnson's been a guy that's kind of moved around, but if I'm the Raiders, it's really hard to pass up on someone like that. I know JT's kind of a once in a blue moon guy, but I think like the Raiders can go draft someone else later, in my opinion, the second round, then grab a running back or something. There's plenty of running backs. And I just don't think there's plenty of corners in this draft as far as like the top guys. I just don't. I think Michael Williams will be better than people think. Cameron Ward, I think that's exactly where he needs to go. Jahad Campbell will be a star in San Francisco. The Dolphins getting Barron. The more I look at that team, the more I think they are going to go corner. Even though they do need to replace Teron Armstead. The Dolphins most likely, if I looked into this draft and I saw that it was fairly deep at corner, I would have grabbed a tackle there. I just don't like Banks much. I just think Banks has kind of, not bust, but like average written all over him. I just do. I love Josh Simmons. I don't know how his injuries affected him. This thing has him rated lower, so I'm going to go but based on that board. So Barron, Simmons, even Starks would be the picks for the Dolphins there. Sanders, perfect spot for the Colts. In my opinion, perfect spot for them. Got a good offensive coach. I just think he would shine there. If he's going to shine anywhere, it's going to be there. Stewart, perfect fit. Perfect fit for McMillan. Rebels, a nice fit there. I just don't know what the Steelers are doing. Loveland, perfect fit. Benjamin Morrison. I actually really like Benjamin Morrison. I don't know why he's dropping. There's something I'm probably missing there. Zabel, Booker. Yeah, these are all... I think these are fits. I think they're good fits. You may disagree with my pick on, Walker over Carter or whatever, or just having Ward drop, but trust me on this one. Trust me, he is not worth the first pick. Good player, not worth the first pick. Anyway, all right, guys. See you.